G'day, Geoff Lewis here from Seriously Series, and welcome to another Just Adventure chat. Here today I'm chatting to a fellow adventurer like you and I. He's traversed many of the continents of this globe, but he's got many more adventures to complete as of yet. He's graced the screen that we love to view here on YouTube and more for many years now. He's traversed Australia, America, and who knows where else. But he's also built a vehicle that is an absolute masterpiece. He's overcome adversity in order to do so, and he's turned the art of welding from something that was foreign to something that is second nature. He's one of those rare individuals that has the same amount of charisma and character as the vehicles that he actually drives. So join me as we have a chat to and an informal and in-depth interview with none other than Mr. Foreman himself from Foreman and Wilms Adventure. So top up that teapot, top up that glass, because this is going to be a cracker of a chat and more. And if you haven't already, click on that subscribe button down below and click on that notification button too. And as you always know, stay tuned. Okay, so here today we are joined by the persona, the personality, and more. That is Mr. Foreman and Wilms Adventures. Thanks for taking the time to have a chat to us here today, Mr. Foreman. And I can't help but notice there's a lovely piece of artwork in the background there.
Oh, yeah. That's the prettiest one of the three of us.
Oh, okay.
Four of us.
Four of us. Whoa,
well, I'm going to include the dog and my wife.
Yeah, okay. Luckily, she's not here, eh?
Ah.
She may not watch this. We don't know. But if you don't see any more videos from Mr. Foreman, you'll know what happened. But
I'm in trouble.
Big trouble. But yeah, incredible videos that you've produced over the years, Mr. Foreman. And
thank you.
It's really good to have you on the show here today, because a lot of our viewers are big fans of your work that you've been able to do. And I guess for those who haven't stumbled across your cinematic masterpieces, would you be able to fill us in sort of what your videos are about and where you've been and what you've done with them over the years?
Oh, my word. I think there isn't really any direction to the channel, is there? Like, it's adventure videos and canoe videos and fixing Land Rover videos. And
well, that's all adventure, isn't it? You know?
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that it all comes about from the passion of making films. So when I first saw Darth Vader stride through the mist and everybody was in trouble, I think right then I made a wish to be a filmmaker, which came true, but I forgot in the contract to include rich and famous.
That can get lost on the side, can't it?
Yeah. You got to be careful with your contracts. So the whole filmmaking process is just the passion for doing it. And so there isn't really any direction to the channel. It's just having fun and filming Mother Nature and Land Rovers. Yeah.
Well, I think too, maybe certainly with the stuff that you have produced over the years, it's of a very high quality and an informative nature that you don't get a lot on YouTube these days. There must be quite a bit of research that actually goes into producing these adventures, even just the knowledge of the local bird and wildlife too. Is that another passion that you share, or is that more Wilms' sort of domain?
No, that's both of us. I think it's all interlinked.
Yes,
it all comes from being a kid and wanting to go out camping and adventuring. And then that sort of branches off into the filmmaking and branches off into an interest of the environment you're in. And then getting there is a problem. So you need to learn how to fix cars and how to paddle canoes and use boats. So everything's interlinked. And I fell into tour guiding. So that's the key to what you're asking about. So I was tour guiding in Australia and Africa for 17 years.
Wow.
So, yeah, when the passengers are asking you questions and you think, oh, you know, I don't really know the answer. So you want to know the answer, so you learn, and it keeps going on. Like geology is part of tour guiding.
That's
that's your field.
Yeah.
So you got to know a little bit about how things are formed and how are made, and it just keeps building off of that.
Yeah.
So if the passion's there, you keep learning.
Yeah, definitely. And it's painting that broad overview for the punters on the boat or on the bus, you know, so they can go away and actually have a bit of an insight to the environment that you've just traveled through, I guess, which is key.
Yeah, all of it. And it also there's a lot of skills you get from that. Storytelling, for instance, because you start gibbering onto an audience and you watch them fall asleep in front of you, then you know that you're not doing a good job. So you got to find ways.
Yeah,
got to find ways to sort of present the story to an audience that keeps them awake for a little bit.
So don't fall into the trench of monologuism, you know, basically. You've got to change your voice and all the rest.
Yeah. And trying to stay on point yet add a little bit of flair. That's can be a fine balance, and it depends on the subject and on the audience, and it's a tricky gig.
Well, you can't,
but it's fun.
It's fun, but you can't fake charisma. You know, that just comes naturally. You know.
Well, you can develop it, but there are some that just have it. You know,
like you.
No, I don't know about that.
Modest to the end. You can't put a price on modesty. I love it. So you said with Darth Vader, obviously, a bit of a profound impact on the cinematic screen back in your home waters of Geraldton. Was it sort of knocking around the sand dunes there as a kid that got you interested in nature, and then thought pick up a Super 8 camera and try and film a bit of it? Or was that a bit later on?
No, the camera... I started off with the box Brownie.
Oh yes,
remember those?
Yes.
That was my introduction to the whole thing. But the cameras didn't come until I was maybe mid-20s and late 20s. Perhaps I got one of those. What is it? The 8? There's something Video 8 or something.
Okay, I'll ask.
It was the old tape.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah, really crap.
Yeah.
And then I think. I don't know. There's a lot to learn, and you don't have the technology or the access. But I think for me, probably when it clicked, and I thought this is how to do it. Even though our Canning stock route film had really terrible audio, but that's kind of when I began to think about things a little more.
Yeah,
and have a direction in that regard. How I want to tell stories through film.
Yeah, because that Canning stock route series, that obviously then pins onto your adventure through the Pilbara and other parts of Western Australia too. You can tell a lot of thought has actually gone into actually shooting that, and the Canning stock route itself is a fascinating track, but can be quite boring if you're just showing the track itself, if you know what I mean. So it's And that tied into quite a big production for yourself to do all that, and then to edit it and obviously upload it onto YouTube too.
Yeah, well, it was uploaded because the internet was so bad for us at the time.
Yeah,
it was uploaded at like what you'd put on your iPhone. So the quality of the video is terrible as far as like its output. And the audio, we didn't have microphones or anything at the time. We just ran with in-camera microphones. So I've thought about going back to do a remastered version, but I'm worried that I might PHUCK it, you know?
Yeah. Well, just make sure you have a backup for a backup. That's what I always do. You can never have enough backups, you know? We've changed. Nowadays, I take a microphone with me, like a big, powerful thing with two things facing like this, a stereo mic. And we'll do audio recordings along our journeys in different places and stuff like that to use all as we'll throw out a lot of audio filmed in camera and create a lot of our own effects using audio we've recorded on the trip. That's the way to do it. We do the same, and that way, particularly if you're doing a drone shot, you can actually interlay a little bit of the local bird noises and the rustle of the trees and that if you're flying the drone low, and then just a little bit over the top, and just gives it a bit more depth and presence on screen rather than, death by drone.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly. Yeah. What I'll do is I'll knock down. I think the high frequencies don't travel, so I'll take them off.
Yep.
In the editing, take them down and maybe add a little reverb so you get that sense of space as you're floating through on your drone.
Oh, there you go. There you go. There's a master at work there. You know, not anyone could do that with an iPhone and a selfie stick these days. So I guess we've talked about, you know, what's the driving force for yourself to do this. Obviously, it's the passion of film and adventure too. But we've talked about the Canning stock route, and obviously you drove the Canning stock route. But now you're no longer in Australia, are you, Mr. Foreman? You've ventured to the convict colony itself.
Exactly.
Yeah,
been swept away.
And now you're with those colonials up north, but.
Where am I exactly? I'm, you know where San Francisco is?
Yeah, been up that way. Yep.
Yeah. So if you drive 2 hours, kind of northeastish.
Yep.
Hour and a half. Depends on traffic. Could be a week. All going well.
Yeah,
about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So I'm roughly there.
Yeah, right.
On the edges of wine country.
Oh, geez, that could be dangerous.
Yeah.
But
one must show strength.
Well, when in Rome, as they say. But yes. So how long have you been over in the States there for, Mr. Foreman?
8 years.
8 years.
So when Western Walkabout started coming out onto the YouTube platform, we had just arrived in the States. So basically we finished that trip, flew over here and started the new life.
Yeah, okay. Set up shop over.
So did I say 8 years?
Yes.
Did I actually say the number? 8.
Yeah, you did. But we can always edit that back in. So, and with that, you know, America's a completely different kettle of fish to Australia. The Americans will say Australia's upside down and everything's wrong. But as you would know, they're actually wrong, most of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they drive on the wrong side of the road. Like, what's with that? Crazy stuff. Crazy kids. So the types of adventures that you've done too since being there, they've also changed also, haven't they? They're a little bit more kayak related now.
Yeah, I think like at least, but we still do the overlanding thing, but it's like, how many times do you film your truck driving up and down the road? We've done the Western Walkabouts, we did the American West, we've done the Canning Stock Route, Mojave Road. So it was kind of getting a little bit repetitive.
Yep.
And the actual YouTube genre of overlanding is also highly saturated and fierce competition.
Oh, yeah.
So in a way, although we still overland, we just don't film it as much.
Yeah.
And the rivers over here are amazing. Like,
they are.
We don't quite have it. Yeah. And the canoe is a wonderful way to get around. And it for us, it was a new topic and a new style of travel, and we enjoy it. So essentially our plan, because, you know, filming can be quite stressful and time consuming and hard.
Yes.
So if a trip is, say, 5 days, we'll give ourselves 8 to 10.
Yeah.
And that lets us enjoy the trip and be able to do the work without, burning ourselves out.
Yeah. Doing 18-hour days and all that other crazy stuff that's camping in the dark, you know, like, come on. Come on now. We got Lucas Electrics here. That don't work, you know. So no, I totally get you. And you want to enjoy the trip and have that time to, you know, sit there and enjoy the sunset and all the rest. And particularly when stuff goes wrong, I believe on one of your adventures, the kayak actually capsized and some film.
Oh yeah, that wasn't fun because I'm in charge. I'm at the back. I'm the steerer, so I get all the blame.
Do you?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And the dog, I was in trouble with the dog. I was a little bit of trouble with the wife, but the dog especially.
Wow. That would have taken months to recuperate from that. Hey, Cricket, how are we going?
Cricket's good. He's forgiven me.
He has. That's good. So with all these places that you've been to and intending to go to, what would you say would be the two elements that really sort of drive your adventure and sort of are the greatest importance to you? Is it the people? Is it the environment that you're traveling through? Or is it the somewhat sense of freedom itself?
Oh, I think the variables on that.
Yeah.
I think it's all encompassing.
Yes.
It's all encompassing, and the trips can be so different. Like I see myself as fairly flexible. I've never been on a cruise.
Yep.
But if the opportunity come up, I'd go.
Yeah.
If I was to stay at a 5-star hotel, I would do it.
Yeah.
And if I was to go and sleep in the dust for 2 weeks or paddle down a river for free,
yep,
I'll do it. So I like to adapt to the trip to enjoy it for what it is, and it's quite handy to not go in with unrealistic expectations. For instance, Mitchell Falls is a great example. You'll go up there and it's not tranquil, it's not serene. There's a friggin' copper station right next to the campsite. There's people everywhere.
And do it in school holidays too. That's the best time, doing it in school holidays.
You're watching our film.
Yeah. Well, I'm not doing that.
I did see a taipan though in Mitchell Falls. That was very, very exciting. He was too quick for me to film him, but it was no doubt who he was. That was awesome. Luckily, I'd attended my ablutions that morning. Otherwise, I could have ended up with soiled breeches.
Oh, you wouldn't want that. Not on camera.
No. He was quite close.
Far out. That's a bit much. So I guess you could say from that, Mr. Foreman.
Am I allowed to talk like this on our interview, or should I tone it back a little?
No, you just be yourself.
Oh, good.
They can.
I haven't had any alcohol. This is. I'm probably at my naughtiest when I'm sober.
Right. Okay. We'll know that for next time. Okay. 6-pack and then some. No, that's fine. So I guess you could say is, being flexible and all the rest. It's just the experience of each trip and what that actually. That's and going in open-minded is important for that.
I think so, yeah, and just to make the most of each trip, because they can all be very different, and and it's best just to roll with it rather than sort of go, oh dear, this is crowded, or I don't want to be here. And if you don't want to be here, go somewhere else.
Well, that's right.
Be ready to move. Yeah,
that's right.
Our last trip, we didn't film it. We just did 2 of the rivers we've already done.
Yep.
But we went. The weather pushed us out, and we just went somewhere else. We just threw Plan A straight in the trash and moved on to Plan XYZ.
Yeah.
Went with it,
But that's what happens when you're going into the outdoors, or you're going into, I guess, uncharted territory. You've got no idea, so there's no point really going in with a definitive schedule. It's a couple guidelines as to where you want to go, but it's just going to be what it'll be at the end of the day.
I agree.
Yeah. Now, there's an elephant in the room, and I think it might be behind you. And this is not a Land Cruiser by any means, is it? It's the right land derivative. It's the Land Rover. So
it is.
These have always been the silent participant and character on screen. But how did this infection, affliction, or fondness sort of start for you? And obviously, it's infected.
Oh, I know the answer.
Yep.
I know the answer. I must have been in my 30s.
Yep.
I've only owned 5 vehicles in the whole life, and 3 of them I still have, all Land Rovers.
Yep.
The other two were also good cars. They just weren't Land Rovers.
Yeah.
I was usually a walker, a bicycle rider, or I had a motorbike. And when the motorbike died, I was sort of reduced to the first 2 options. And I had a friend who had a Series 3, one of those Isuzu motors in them.
Yep. Got one of those.
And he had it sitting around, and he said, use that. So I had it for maybe 1 or 2 years, driving around in the Series 3 Land Rover, and it was rough, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
Like truly awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I was tour guiding at the time, and we were driving Toyota Land, the Troopies.
Yep.
And the Troopies are bulletproof. They are a fantastic truck.
They are.
And they're common.
Yeah.
So when it was coming time for me to actually buy my own vehicle, I was thinking, I'm going to go a Troopy. And the same friend, he said, look, come to the auction. This was in Alice Springs. He said, there's a Land Rover there you'll like. It was the Defender from the Canning stock group.
Wow.
And it was all rigged out. It had the I can't remember how to say it. Aluminium. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Yeah, it had the big box on the back of it. Ex-Telstra it was. It had ladder racks, six tires, two spares, of course.
Yep.
All brand new. Had the bull bar with the winch, and it had a big water tank installed. It was all set to go.
Wow.
And then the troopies were there, but they were like stock standard and twice the price. Oh. And so, you know, so I went, but I went from practicality, like get a troopy, it's easier.
Yeah.
And then in the end, I ended up with the Defender, and that was it. So that's pretty much the answer to the route that I went on, the love affair with Land Rover. That's the whole story.
Yeah. And I guess the more adventures you did in it, the more you fell in love with it, and the lighter your pocket became? Or
no, I think the Defender needed some work. So no, yeah, the light of the pocket. That's it. The light of the pocket. Yeah, I was thinking it was the other way around. I thought, no, this guy's crazy. What's he saying? I'm not saving money.
No. So so you would have become quite attuned with all of the needs of the Defender quite quickly. A bit of crash course.
Oh, I think some of the biggest, like I had a good learning curve once I become tour guiding in Australia, but I think when I got to Africa, the learning curve went up even higher. Because I had, young men with testosterone and stupidity. Yeah, I nearly got myself killed a few times over there. But also driving the trucks. We're in a big 2-wheel drive Scania thing. Traveling around with like 20 odd people in the back of it. So that had to be maintained and fixed by me.
Yeah.
And then a bigger learning curve here in America, because next thing I'm finding myself fixing anything from, do we call them weed whackers or whippersnippers, or is it one and the same?
Whippersnippers over here, but
whippersnippers. Fixing anything from whippersnippers to tractors and small trucks. And then of course I bought the Disco, and that was it. Yeah. That was hard work.
Now that's is that a TD5, that one, or 300T?
No, they don't like the diesels over here.
Oh, that's right. It's
that's a Bosch. Yes. That's a Bosch 4.6 V8.
Whew. That'd go well.
It does all right, actually. The Disco is a very nice truck. I thought it was a bit pansy-ish.
Yes.
At first, I never saw myself driving one, but now I own one. I'm a convert. However, if I was to go on a remote trip anywhere in the world, if you were to give me a free ticket and an unlimited budget, I would think I'd choose the Defender.
Yeah.
It's a little more simpler and
well,
rugged.
Refrigerated air conditioning, you know. do you need that? All these mod cons.
I don't know. I found myself wishing a few times.
Yeah.
I think the Disco's better off-road myself than the Defender. I have to actually, the thing I need to mention is the aluminium back.
Yes.
On the Defender.
Yep.
Whoever invented that didn't make the wheel wells really that good, and on extreme articulation, the back wheel will hit it, and so that'll stop you dead in your tracks.
Yeah.
So the Disco's better off road, but I think the Defender's the one I would trust if I was to do the Canning stock route or something like that.
And I'm sure with the Disco too, you've got a bit more torque having a 4.6 litre V8 in it also too, and it's an automatic, I would assume, over there.
Yeah, actually, I don't mind the autos either. I'm shocked and horrified to say.
Yeah,
but the auto boxes, I use it manually. You know how you got the choice of gears.
Yep.
So coming down hills and going up hills and stuff, I'll shift.
Yep.
But they are good.
Yeah,
I won't knock them.
You're very cultured. Very cultured. And then obviously this led to a completely different Land Rover from a different era, the Series 1 Land Rover.
Yeah, that actually, English guy down the road had it, and he was selling his house, and my wife's uncle was the buyer. Oh. And he said, throw that in and the deal will go ahead. Oh, and then he went and gave it to us.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Which was lucky we didn't have to buy it, because the restorations cost a bit.
Oh, it is. Well, there's that, but the fact that Series 1 prices have just gone through.
Oh, they have, haven't they?
Yeah. Oh, they have.
You couldn't buy a Defender in America. You won't be able to buy a Defender in America unless there's a lottery win somewhere along the lines.
Yeah, right. And then a lot of parts too, I would imagine.
Yeah.
In the shipping container. Yeah. So with the Series 1, that was a bit of an unusual sort of configuration with the driveline there. And then we've seen those who've watched the series, and if you haven't, please do. You've watched someone start off with nothing more than a stick and a bit of electricity go through it and some bird stuff come out the back, to someone who is absolutely a seamstress with the welder and has actually made a patchwork quilt that would make the CWA, Country Women's Association, literally go white. How did this all come about? How did it all come about? And the filming process to do this incredible, I think we're up to what, 34 or 33 parts now, is that correct?
Yeah, 34 is actually uploaded, but it's been held back. It's still in there because I need to finish the finale. The finale's getting filmed. So once the finale's close to ready, then the Secrets of Sorcery shall be officially released.
So we might have like a spoiler trailer or something like that coming out in the following week, just so people can,
maybe, yeah.
Prepare their teapots, stack those Lamingtons, and get ready for a good time.
Because I'm trying to finish strong. It's a 35 episode series, so I don't want it to sort of bog down as it comes to the end. I want that, that momentum to go right through to the finish.
Yeah, you want to.
But as the progression of I don't know, I still don't call myself a mechanic, but I've increased in my skill is been out of necessity because I'm the expert in my field here, which is, it's a dismal thing to say, but it's the truth. I just don't have that many other guys around here with Land Rovers, so I got just me. I had help when we welded the chassis.
Yep.
But other than that, and I think that's why there's a lot of out-of-the-box crazy solutions for problems, is because there's no one else to talk sense to me. All I can do is just come up with my own stuff.
Yeah, well, that's it. And you see it on a lot of particularly the series Land Rovers. You see a lot of really odd additions, like holes through the firewall so you can get to the Welsh plug at the back instead of taking the motor out. And many other things like that. So it had
I have to.
Yes.
I have to say, with the filming with YouTube, that has actually been pretty handy because I get feedback from people. So when I say there's no one to talk sense to me, there actually is through the YouTube community. So I've actually had a few people save me from myself. The most notable was a guy who said, make sure your clutch is set right.
Oh, yes.
Before you put the gearbox in.
Yeah.
And he was right. I hadn't done it correctly, and it would have been all tears.
Yeah, okay. So you've done it.
I did cut you off though, sorry.
No, that's fine. I did too. So we're even. So you've converted it from a 3.5 litre Rover V8 back to a 2.25 litre petrol engine, if I'm right there. Everything else underneath it is pretty much original as you found it?
I don't think so. I think the rear diff is from a Series 2A, not that I put it there.
Yeah.
And the front one might be as well. And I think they were attempted upgrades for the V8.
Yes.
But of course, the gearbox wasn't upgraded. So that was the weakest link in the chain. And then that's why it was in so bad condition. I don't know if you remember, because, after 30 odd videos, a dog wants to go down. But the, what do you call that thingamajig at the back? It's the output shaft.
Yes.
The rear one.
Yes.
Twisted. It's twisted.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's a lot of horses to do that.
I think so. I can't understand why it didn't snap, but there it was.
Well, it's funny, the axles do the same. They don't actually just do a clean brake. They actually twist like toffee, and then it actually goes off and then goes bang. So you probably got it just before it actually twisted and went separate ways.
Well, the guy who used to own it said that he thinks it was the gearbox, and that's why he parked it up. So
yeah, right.
He estimated that it had been down for 3 years, and I've been working on it for over 5.
Yeah.
So the vehicle's been out of action for at least 8.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. But that's how long it takes, because 3 years of that 5 years is your apprenticeship, and then 2 years is actually doing the work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's exactly what happens. I think the gearbox took me like probably about a year.
Yeah.
To do. And then like I'd take it apart a little bit and put it back together because I didn't know what I was doing. But when you get to that stage, and especially if you're doing a film, you kind of need to know what you're doing. So I had to up my game a bit from a clown to somebody who at least might not show a professional performance, but be able to show a viewer what's inside and what troubles I have and had. And then, at least present it that way.
Exactly, with a certain amount of confidence and certainty there too.
So yeah. Well, I was rebuilding a gearbox, so I kind of had to, because I don't want it to blow up.
No, that's not ideal, is it? Not ideal at all. No. So, and with the Land Rovers, you never thought about attempting to sort of sway to another vehicle? It's just always been the vehicle of choice now since the Defender. Like, I guess coming over to America there, you could have picked up a big, bling Dodge Ram or something like that.
Yeah, I just like the Land Rover, I think, and because I'm not a big car guy.
No,
for me, the vehicles are they facilitate the journey from A to B. For me, but now that I've gotten into the Land Rovers, and especially when you start fixing them yourself, you're gaining an appreciation for how the hell do they even work in the first place.
I know, it's just downhill. Yep. You end up owning more manuals than you do other books, and it just keeps going from there. Yeah.
They do have a charm though, the Land Rover, and at least back in the day, like when I got the Defender, the Land Rovers were quite unpopular. Everyone said, don't get a Land Rover. So that was also a driving force to get one, because you're a little different from the main X.
The inner rebel comes out, It's nice to be a bit different, you could say. So I guess we've got this Series 1 Land Rover. We've got Part 34 coming out, the big finale.
Yep.
We're not going to say any spoilers about that, because people have to subscribe to your channel to find out, and they have to click on that notification button too. But if I were to put it out there that it actually went on the road and moved under its own steam and became registered, where's its maiden voyage going to go? Are there sort of a few areas that you might want to explore with it?
Yeah, the idea, my idea is because it's a rookie doing the job.
Yep.
I.e. me. I don't know how well I've done the job until I test it. So that's where the film's going to finish. I think in bodybuilding I might have covered that. So we're not going to register it for the road. We're going to leave it. We're going to get it going, and then we're going to test drive. And that could go on for months while we build confidence.
Yeah.
And then it's all ifs and buts after that.
Yeah.
Then if it gets registered for the road, then adventures are going to be close. I don't know about you, but with these series, with the accelerator, it's kind of the way your leg's tucked up, because there's no leg room.
Yep.
I find that the heel is up like this, and it's actually quite stressful to keep your foot on the accelerator for a long period of time. That's what I found anyway with this one.
No, it's not. It's like that for the first 30 minutes. And then after a while, you lose all sensation in the bottom of your foot, and then in the actual ankle, and then it's just frozen there, and you're all good.
Oh.
Same with waist down. You lose all sensation, and then it's all good. Sit there for
all right. See, I'm like, I had that bit of experience driving around in that Series 3, but that was a long time ago, so I've kind of forgotten.
Yeah. The yoga, the Land Rover yoga,
Yeah, that's good to know. So the sensations I'm feeling at the moment, or about to feel when it gets going, is normal.
You're just warming up to the vehicle, basically.
Yeah.
You could say. Yeah. So no, it's all good. So I guess we'll see where you end up going with that, with the Series 1. But if we ask this question to everyone we have here, if money was no object, where would you want to go on an adventure? With the Land Rover, or because we have got the car.
Or with a Land Rover, or anywhere?
We can do both. We can do both with the kayak or with the Land Rover, because we've got two vehicles here.
Yeah. See, the trouble is there's so many places.
I know.
Like, there's so much. There's still stuff in Australia I haven't done.
Yep.
There's so much in Australia I would like to redo.
Yep.
Then there's a full transcontinental journey of Africa, which would be awesome in a Land Rover. I did that in a very big truck, and it was just friggin' scary.
Yeah.
Although I think the Chinese have gotten over there and built a lot of roads now, so I think the challenges are largely gone. You probably have to go looking for them. And of course, there's the Americas. So there's just too much, and it's too much good stuff.
I know. Well, that's a good place to be in, because you're not going to die of boredom. You just need to, you're in California, so it's possible you just need to trip over a nice big gold nugget and get rid of these distractions, and then you can get on.
More chance of that too, I think.
Yeah. Well, I'm still looking for mine. But no, I think that would be good. And so I guess if we look at Australia, would there be a particular place that you would like to redo here from the trips that you've done?
Oh, this is never going to happen. So I can tell you what my dream was. It would be to do a series of a full sort of trip around Australia. I think the Canoe would be redone.
Yeah.
We'd be down in that sort of southwest. But the idea would be to do something that it'd be called For the Love of Pigeons and Doves.
Oh, yeah.
So the quest would be to find every pigeon and dove on the Australian continent, because everybody loves pigeons and doves, even when they say they don't. It's like country music. Everybody really rocks out to that when, and so it'd be Cape York. I'd like to go. Have you ever been through that Strzelecki area up to Foreman and Wilms?
Yes.
You've been up there?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I passed through there on a motorcycle, so I had small supplies and I had to keep moving. But with a Land Rover, you'd
park up there for a few weeks. Yeah. And the Cooper's Creek there is fantastic.
That's the one, Cooper's Creek.
Yes. Yeah, that's fantastic there. Camp on the edge there.
So you obviously, I haven't seen a video from you of that. You weren't filming then, were you?
No, because I was about 15 at the time. So that was prior to all that. That was back in my formative years as a teenager. So we would head off over about a 2 or 3 year period. We'd head off for a month or 2 months to escape the clutching cold of Tasmania and venture up north. And we went up through to Tippaborough, through the Corner Country, up the Strzelecki track, through the bore fields up to the Cooper's Creek, and then up into the Simpson Desert, and then got stuck, and then came out and went along the Plenty Highway to north of Alice Springs, and then came down, went to Old Indado, went down through to Oodnadatta, did the Oodnadatta track, Flinders Ranges, and then back to Tassie. And that was 6 weeks. Yeah.
So that's just excellent stuff,
It is.
And so how do you answer a question that you asked is like, where would you like to go? What would you like to do when there's so much stuff?
There is.
I think it's whatever presents itself. I see myself like an old empty packet of crisps blowing on the wind. The destination sorts itself out there. You just enjoy the journey.
Yeah, and you'll land somewhere.
Whichever direction.
That's it. That's it. No, that's a good outlook, I think. That's a good outlook. Now, there's all these great adventures. There's obviously some great workshop videos too. Where can people, if they don't want, I'm sure they want to already, where can they follow your great work and Will's great work and Cricket's on-screen persona and all that and more?
Yeah, Cricket's the boss of the whole operation. I suppose it's just Foreman and Wilms Adventures on YouTube, I think.
Yep.
We had a website which is still there, but we don't update it. I think the Facebook thing, we don't really bother with that anymore. We don't really promote the channel. We just put the videos out there, and if people want to watch it, they do. And if they don't, so I think we play for that. Like our channel's pretty obscure. It's hard to find. It's buried deep, but Foreman and Wilms Adventures.
Perfect. It's the one to subscribe to. And look, it's the same right across the board, unless it's 4x4 this or 4x4 that. People have to obviously, enter in a few more syllables to find these great channels, but they're certainly worthwhile. And I know for myself, the work that you've all put into the channel over the years is fantastic, and it's great that you're keeping on with it. And I'm sure, like myself and others, we're going to be, really excited to see part 34 and whatever adventures you're going to present next. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Hey.
No worries. Cool. Well, thank you.
I've given you a few shout outs, actually. You've gotten a few shout outs as one of my senior consultants.
Oh, it has been noted. It has been noted. And thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you for the information that I've been harassing you. So,
Not at all. It's a joy. It's a joy. It's just nice to see that another Landy's getting back on the road again. That's.
Oh, good. Because I think you might be due. You might be due for another email with me whinging on about gauge issues and so forth. But we'll talk about that when the time comes.
We can talk about that off camera right now. But anyway,
yeah,
we'll let these guys and girls go because they might want to get on with their lives. And we could sit here talking about Land Rovers all day until the cows come home and come back again. But anyway, thanks again, Mr. Foreman. We'll chat soon.
Yep. It's a pleasure, troops. See ya.